October Red is sponsored by SA Security. Maximum security, minimum fuss.
Da, 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 da. Oh, look.
It's like we're colour coordinated.
We are. Do you know, apparently, burgundy's the new black, Sonny.
Yeah, I love burgundy though.
You know what? It's good to see you, you know.
Thank you. It's good to
What, like, which one do you want?
Whatever.
Mm.
Whatever one you want me to have.
That looks all right, doesn't it, with your outfit? You got to get in like with friends. It is October Red and the one and only Sonny Edwards.
Are we live, yeah?
Yeah,
We're straight rolling.
We're straight rolling. There's no
Straight in.
rehearsal. There's no notes. Now, yeah, you're here for a Birmingham card, and we're going to cover that. But what I want you to cover, because you can break down fights really, really well. Talk to me about Anthony Yarde and David Benevidez, and I'm sorry if you've been asked to go over this 1,000 times. I know I'm asking you this because Lyndon, your mate, your friend, has fought him, and personally I believe this new and improved Lyndon would have been able to go in there and secure a win. I don't want a forfeit, I'm just saying. If the Lyndon that turned up the other day against Brad Ray with his cool nutritionist and everything's going his way and the right attitude, he's dangerous. He's a dangerous fighter.
Yeah, I feel like his last performance was one of his best. I feel like he was doing what's asked of him. He took away a lot of his regular mistakes, stepping in a bit lazy with a jab and falling a little bit, and that's what got him put down. As soon as he took that out for the rest of the fight, he pretty much won every round for most people. It was a couple of close ones, but he was in control the whole way through. I think also not only that, the sort of work he's doing behind the scenes, the nutrition like you mentioned, the strength and conditioning now. We're kind of the same. We never took that all too seriously. It was just really 3-4 weeks out. Let's make sure we're making weight. Do you know what I mean? So we're kind of similar in that
I think
when
I
you
could more see it with him than you, though, if I'm honest.
Nah, but if you actually really look at my body like composition, say compared next to my brother's, my brother's shredded.
Okay.
I've never been shredded. I've never even had a six-pack.
Fair enough.
I get 4 at a push, and then the other one's connected. So that's only from diet. That's all you need, really, innit?
Yeah.
That's all you need. But no, in all seriousness, I think this Lyndon has probably, you know, for me as a friend, supporter, part of the team, more confidence than I've ever had in him and his ability, and because he's doing things right, you know, them percentages definitely mean a lot. The first fight of Yarde he won. We all had him winning a few rounds, but comfortably enough. The second fight, he picked the wrong targets. He tactics.
It just didn't seem like he even wanted to be in there.
Yeah, he was
does
just
that though. He does that.
And he was just fighting.
That.
But the third one, I had it very, very close.
Okay.
I had the third one very, very close. Like when I jumped up on that side of the ring, I felt we could have walked away with that. Like, he didn't get hurt. There weren't no big shots. He didn't get dropped. At certain times, he kind of got outlaid on in that fight for me.
Yeah.
I'm leaning on you and I'm touching you a couple of times. I'm leaning on you again.
Yeah.
And that was probably the biggest thing you had to take away from Lyndon to win that fight comfortably, was not letting him smother him and not holding his feet and letting him lay on him really and burst a little bit in between that. I probably agree that version, but obviously you got to remember, against Benevidez, the version of Yarde we just saw was probably where Benevidez has come up weight and he's got good footwork and very, very quick hands for a light heavyweight, and he was kind of hitting him at a pace that he's never had to really deal with before. And look, Benevidez is a tremendous fighter. If I'm being perfectly honest,
go on.
I only didn't even half watch, probably less than that, probably much less than that card, even though it's such a great card, because I was actually out with Ish celebrating his.
Fair enough.
It was his celebration night, so someone had the phone on the table, and I clocked into. I was watching Bam for a bit, and then I saw the knockout, and then after that I kind of switched off really. But I did catch up on the clips, but I haven't sat there and watched the whole fight. But
he started off well, and he did. He started off well. He was putting a few counters in there. He just came across like the shots that he was throwing out, he was pouring them. There were taps rather than intentional with the jabs, because he was able to, like I said, he was throwing in the counters, but he just stayed on the back foot throughout the fight. And Benevidez was be able to literally just cut the ring off, get him onto the rope so many times and unload on him.
From what I saw, Benevidez was doing a good job at controlling the range, but the moment he got into range, letting hands go. And Yarde is used to sort of standing and looking and getting more of a hesitation and being able to time his bursts, but Benevidez kind of just seek and destroyed, got in there, started letting his hands go. He weren't loading up with anything.
No, he wasn't.
He always had more pop coming and more shots coming out of his shoulders, but I think he just did a better job at finding his feet, and then as soon as he found his feet, going where Yarde was kind of a bit. The pace, I think, it caught him by surprise a little bit, and he was a bit shell-shocked, and he's getting caught with some heavy, clean shots, even if they weren't proper heavy, and he was trying to pick his moments, but there was often a barrage coming back. Rather than a 1 or a 2,
absolutely.
it was a 5, a 6, a 10, a 15 punch combination
18
we saw.
at one point, it's like, what?
And that's what happens with Benevidez. He gets there, and if you're not throwing back, he will keep throwing, and I think it just left Yarde a bit lost. Yeah, a bit lost, really, that even though the shots he could take and he was able to sort of stay in there and weren't completely just getting wiped out to straight away, it was the effect that those punches start building, and by the end it was the right decision. I think he was
100%. It was definitely the right decision. Interesting. Okay, so with the reflection of that, I said that my issue was my query was, how do you prepare for a fight with Benevidez? Now, you, as a former world champion, you understand you've got to, or you know what, correct me if I'm wrong, have you not got to spar up or get the best sparring that you can get to prepare you for such a fight? Tell me the truth, is that how it really works, or do you potentially just get sparring partners that you can tick over with? Nobody's going to really apply that kind of pressure to you. How do you prepare for a fight? Because it's all right me standing here saying this, because I always think you should spar up where you can. Spar up, so you are really having to learn. You're in that deep end in sparring, so when you get in the ring, it's not too much of a shock.
I don't agree with confident spars. I don't agree with easy spars. I don't agree with making sure that the rings you're getting in before you get into a hard, big fight are comfortable as possible. The way if we're asking me personally,
yes,
the way I always was. Now, I would spar as many and as heavy, pretty much. I'd be sparring the likes of Josh Padley's, etc., Lee Woods, Jordan Gills, and that's just to name a few. There was loads of fighters far bigger than I.
Sparring with real good competition, potentially, obviously, heavier weights than
heavyweights and good level fighters, because. Okay. I'll be honest, say there was a new lad to come and spar, and he's never been in there and sparred with me before. If after the second round, I always give him one to have a little look, but if after the second round I think this is just easy, I would always tell Grant he's not coming back again, and you can ask that to him if you ever speak to him. This one's not coming back again, and it was never because it was hard. The hard rounds, no, we're doing more rounds. They're coming back next week. Get them again, because I wanted the challenge, because iron sharpens iron, and if I'm having to solve some puzzles, it's sharpening my mind, my body up, and showing my level. If I just get in the ring just teeing off on someone, I feel bad. So for me, I wouldn't have gained no confidence sparring people I knew, this is going to be easy getting in the ring. So. But I do think if you look at the way Yarde's gone his whole career without being involved in his career, we've heard a lot, he didn't spar. Well, he obviously sparred some, but just not as much. Yeah. But also, if he was constantly sparring the top level fighters that we know, then we would have heard all of the sparring and the sparring stories.
And the pictures would have been out on social media.
So I can only imagine that they do the more confident spars. Okay, let's not get him in against anyone too good or too big or too strong, or it's going to cause him any injuries or problems, and that's probably how they go around it. And if you look at the fights he's taken, because he's had a weird career, Yarde. Apart from Lyndon, take away those 3 fights.
Well, we've said that.
Take away those 3 fights.
Yeah, we've said that.
And then you take away the elite he's fought, the Benevidez and the Benevidez. Take away the elite where he's jumped in against the best in the world. Everyone else has been a middleweight, super middleweight, rolled in to get their head punched off by Anthony Yarde. And I think what's happening is because he spent so much time in that sort of bracket of opponent in his career, he got so used to being able to just look and, blow a kiss at the camera and then knock him out when he wanted, that now he's got some immediate jeopardy and immediate challenges he's got to face. Every time he's had to face him, he's never come out as the winner. He hasn't. His best wins probably have been Lyndon, but he also lost to him the first time and wasn't supposed to. He was the way favourite. He was the way favourite before that fight. Yeah. So it was only the fact that he lost to him that the 2 wins after that became anything, because he lost to him at the start. If anything, Yarde kind of catapulted Lyndon's career into what it is now, and in some ways Lyndon's done better. He's beat a more consistent, better fighter on different times. Like, Yarde's probably not even really beating a Brad Ray.
Well, this is what this is the argument, isn't it? You're either fighting the top of the creme of the creme, or you fight, like you said, you fight in somebody that's on a lower level than obviously the talented British guys that we've got here.
But as light heavyweights,
Dex Bellman and Lyndon Arthur.
No, but in light heavyweights in Britain, there's been a consistent string of viable opponents. So that's by Yarde's decision. Yarde was often considered as the most marketed light heavyweight from Britain in the country.
Yeah, you can't argue with that.
He was the most forward. So when they was trying to make the Buatsi fight, it was Yarde and his team that didn't want that fight. Was
it?
I believe so, because I think Buatsi had a lot more to gain in a fight where he would have genuinely believed that he could have won, just looking at it from that, where for Yarde, he'll fight a Benevidez or Benavidez, like the best fighters in the world, and I'll give him every credit for that. And he'll try his best, Sergey Kovalev as well. And bear in mind, apart from Benevidez, every other time he's got in the ring, he's given them moments where Yarde could do this right now. So he's shown that he can mix it. But I think you see, if on the way up, them first 15, 16 fights, if they weren't so hand select picked, middle of Europe somewhere, fighter that's got a good record, but really is a middleweight, maybe a super middleweight at a push, but now fighting, Yarde in the away corner and just getting steamrolled, he didn't learn anything from them exercises. Now, when he gets in against someone of the top level, there's a gulf or a gap in his knowledge and experience that he's cheated himself of by all his early knockouts in rings that the opponent should have never been in the ring with him.
Okay, well that brings me to where we are today. Ben Whittaker has recently signed with Matchroom, an Olympic medalist, silver Olympic medalist at light heavyweight. I spoke to Lee Eaton a few weeks ago, I think it was at the Parker Wardley presser, and I said I'd like to see him go in now with someone like Buatsi because of his Olympic pedigree. Let's see where he is.
Yeah.
What do you think? I guess I'll be criticised for saying that. I mean, I did try and get an interview with Ben today and he disappeared. So, I don't know, maybe he watched my interview and didn't like it. But you've just said there, those first 16, 17 fights can be quite pivotal. Yes, you're going to fight people on there that people don't know who they are. But in there's got to be some kind of test. Yes, we saw the Liam Cameron test. No disrespect to his opponent this week, but I wouldn't have known who he was unless he was fighting Ben Whittaker. So I've said the likes of Joshua Buatsi, the likes of Craig Richards, the likes of Dan Aziz for credible opponents.
Well, it's hard to sell a fight for an opponent never heard of, but that doesn't mean Gavazi's not a live underdog. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't mean that because he's got 19 wins, he only lost his debut.
Yeah, I hear that.
So this could potentially, and we'll see it. I haven't seen all too much of Gavazi, if I'm being perfectly honest. I'm working the fight, so I probably should do a little bit of research on him. But
you and me both.
There's so much boxing to keep hold of. It's hard sometimes, but
we'll take the criticism in the comments.
But I just think if you go through your career and you're genuinely getting matched up in some good matches, okay, it might be 60-40, 70-30. Yeah. But if you're just going through the 90-10s, you do not learn. And yes, you might look spectacular in front of all your friends and family getting a 2-minute knockout or something, and that's great, but what did you learn in that? Now when you lose a round or you get cut or you hurt your hand and you still get through, or you rolled your ankle and you still get through, what it does is it gives you genuine experience that you can then use when you're now against a fighter that's got not just decent feet. He's got a chin as well, but not only a chin, he's got fast hands, but they're not just fast, they're quite heavy as well. Once they can start doing more than just the sort of one or two things that the lower level fighters can do, you need to have answered them questions at a lower level. And like we saw with Yarde and Benevidez has answered those questions a lot of times through the levels as he's come up. Yarde has either been in a ring where he's absolutely trancing someone. There's been a couple of rings where he's been, sort of chasing someone around, but didn't have really too much success in both of those fights against Lyndon, the one he won and the one he lost. Okay, the one he stopped him, he did. But outside again of the round against Benavidez, the round against Kovalev, and I don't think you can even really pick a round for him against Benavidez. He's been in the ring, we've seen him against people that there was, if you look at the bookies, probably 1 to 100 on favourite. That's what we've been looking at. And if you go further, because I'm a Boxer X scanner, if you go and look at most of his opponents, it's like, well, he fought him at light heavyweight, but all his other fights was at middleweight or super middleweight.
Enough. So you're looking to the detail.
You're bolstering up an opponent and his
I hear that.
marketability and his exposure. And I get all of that, but where's the con? The con is that when he gets in the ring, he didn't take all those fights where he might not looked as good. You might have lost a round. You might have got a cut or put down at some point, and had to
All
come
part of
back,
the game, though, right?
or even lost. But you would have learned actual genuine boxing experience, and I think that's what a lot of times when you just match easy for the first 15 because you want to just get to the bigger fights, you cheat yourself for the future, and that's what happens.
I think you've made perfect sense of that, because it's almost like you amalgamate all of these previous fights. It's almost like I don't know, like a GCSE. You're learning a new subject, and for each subject, you try and learn as much as you can in it. You just get better and better and better.
And really,
allegedly,
look, we're all human, yeah. We're all the biggest thieves. We see something that we think was cool or was good, and we mirror that into ourselves. Yeah. Oh, I could do that. Yeah, and then we do it. So, as boxers, you get in the ring against rubbish people. There's nothing off them to learn.
Fair enough.
Like, there's teachings that I've taught every fighter that I've been involved with since, and that's been considered of what the opponent was doing to me when I fought them. Maruti taught me about how to teach a fighter to use their body to come in. Bam taught me how to hide my feet, set it, and be able to throw straight away. There's certain lessons that I can literally I learn off them in real time, in live action, things that I hadn't really fully considered properly the way they did it anyway, and lessons that I've learned from fights, win, lose or draw them. And now I can put that
into
in
your
the head
arsenal,
of
isn't it? It's
yeah,
your
and even if
arsenal,
I never use it because I'm retired, I can then help Ish go from stepping in lazy with a jab to finding a way to be compact, get to the target, and what to do as soon as he gets there, and and you start putting lessons on of a high level. If I can consider something, wow, that's a high level move. I've seen so much in boxing, so you can get fighters that are operating at a certain level to do some of those high level.
I'm waiting for you here.
Molly's gonna floor me in a minute.
No.
I've got
to get.
We'll wrap it up. We'll wrap it up so you can get in.
No, but you know what? It's because he's so knowledgeable. It always feels like when we speak, it's like it's always a part one to a part two that never happens. So we continuously doing.
When you're not making me. So what we're gonna do is now we're gonna cut the Sonny Edwards interview and roll straight into the.
Molly, where you going? Where you going? No, you're gonna.
We're finished now.
Sonny Edwards.
You can have it if you want. I'll just hold up your mic.
Sonny, ladies and gentlemen, Sonny Edwards, a really knowledgeable person in boxing, a fighter that I enjoy speaking to.
Getting rushed off the camera by Molly McCann.
It's part one of a part two that never comes back. Sonny, we've got to do something properly.
Red is sponsored by SA Security. Maximum security, minimum fuss.